What's happening, Pod Squad? Welcome in to another episode 102. We are over 100. Episode 102 of the show. I am really excited to jam out in a conversation with these two fine people. Once in a while, you guys, I have somebody come on that I don't really know. And this is an example of people that I don't really know, but people that I need to get to know better, which is why I'm like, you're coming on the podcast. Please come on the podcast. With me today, Richard and Val Smith from which part of Ohio are you from again? Cleveland. Love it. That always reminds me of the Drew Carey show. So just for quick context for the listeners, like I don't really know them, but I sat in the same room as you guys. I was in a row behind you at Pavex in one of the roundtable discussions. Todd Eichels was leading the discussion. Todd invites you guys to speak, and he says, "What's that?"
I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good. Okay, I thought you couldn't hear me or something. Todd invites you guys to speak, and he's like, "These guys have a cool story." So right away, I'm kind of interested. I think Val, you only talked for like 90 seconds. I wasn't actually timing it.
The elevator pitch.
It was the elevator pitch, exactly. And I was like, "Oh my goodness, how? Like, we need to get this story out to as many people as possible because it is."
Thank you.
No, thank you. I'm so fortunate you guys are here to talk for a little bit. So the companies you have, Hope Seals, Cleveland, Ohio, and then there's also a nonprofit, Hope Stays. Can you give the elevator pitch maybe, and then we'll just like get into it. What's the idea here?
Absolutely. And I'll say, Cam, it's not even our story to tell, really. It's these guys. And we're so grateful to be a part of it. We started this business in 2020 just from a heart of compassion. The word compassion literally means, with suffering or shared suffering. And I think as a community, as a village, when we share in each other's suffering, something special happens. And so the prison reentry space is that for us. These guys come and they need a whole lot of love. And as a community, we just kind of rally behind them. We teach the trade of asphalt and paving and seal coating, but it's so much more. We get to have breakfast with these guys every morning. We make sure they're fed. My pastor always said, put something in their belly, put something in their heart, and put something in their hand. And so we feed them, we pray with them. Richard leads them in a workout every morning and prayer and devotion. And then they hit the street and they love our customers, and our crews are top notch. We have all 5-star Google reviews. They think that we're coming from the best trade schools in the area. And these guys came straight from penitentiary, and it's amazing.
That's the pitch. So as you were telling the story, like I immediately grabbed your card, and then I was looking up on my phone. You don't know this, but on my phone behind you, I was like immediately went to the website for Hope Seals, and I'm like, obviously you guys don't. This isn't like a secret, like of what you guys do and the type of people you hire. Like this is the company, and that's the other thing I noticed. Unbelievable amount of 5-star reviews. Like they're all 5-star reviews in such a short time frame too. Man, this is cool. So I want to dig into why. So where did this actually start? So you two are married. Let's go in the Wayback Machine. How did you two meet? How did this whole thing come to fruition?
Well, we met in church, at a church that we was previously attending. She came to lead us in worship, and I was fresh out of the penitentiary myself, and the Lord intervened in my life. And, I just was really resolute in making decisive decisions. So anybody I was going to court at that period was a potential candidate to be my wife. So when I asked her out, she had left. Well, the church service had ended. And so then I had asked her if she wanted to do a Bible study with me at the lake. And she said yes. And we courted for a short period of time. And then we just, the connection was there. I loved her heart of worship. And that's what we strive to do right now, is lead lives of worship, because that's what keeps us honest. That's what keeps us anchored.
You sing like an angel. Would you want to have a Bible study with me at the lake? So I'll take it. I don't sing like an angel. Every once in a while I hit the anointing, but no, I'm not that great of a vocalist. But we had a great time, and we worked 9 to 5. We had young kids. I was 18 when we got married, and we had very young kids. And I think we worked in corporate America for like 8 years or so. We actually worked together. So we worked in a wire and cable factory, and I traveled the country selling fire alarm systems, and Richard manufactured the wire. He would make it, I would sell it. And we just hustled together. We just loved to work together, and we had our kids in daycare, and we just worked. And then COVID happened. And when COVID happened, we have a tax accountant that's a Christian and a brother in the Lord. He knew we wanted to be business owners, and he called us one day, and he was like, Smith, if you want to go into business, like, now is the time, because there's going to be all these people retiring. There's people moving into different industries, and you can take your 401k without the tax penalty. So, like, just go burn your money, basically. Like, do it. Your kids are young enough. If you screw up, it'll be okay. Like, just go. So we took every dollar we had. Like, it wasn't much. And we took it. We found a seal coating rig in Michigan. It was like Freedom Seal Coating was the name of the company. And he wanted, like, I don't know, 20 grand for like this seal coating setup. We bought like a one-way rental ticket to Michigan and got our seal coating set up. And it was us and a pickup truck and our kids for the first summer. And we were like, God, what do you want to do? Like, how can we really help people and get guys involved? And we just wanted to get back into the prison ministry and just like get access. And that's when the partners started coming. And, you know, it was all in our backyard. The first few years of pictures is just the guys in the backyard having breakfast and, you know, bacon on our grill and praying. And, you know, we had chickens. And so it was just a mess, but it was so fun.
I'm picturing it. So this is 2020 where this starts. Yeah. 2020.
Yeah.
So like, I have so many questions. I don't even know where to start. So it sounds like breakfast is a staple part of the company in addition to the type of people you hire. Yeah. So it started at your house. Is it still at your house?
No, thank God. That was like a wilderness season that we had to endure, and I cried. So imagine these are felons, and like the bathroom is their like pride and joy. So they're blowing up my bathroom at 6 a.m. And like the bathroom was next to my bedroom. And like we have 2 young kids. I'm like in my pajamas, like trying to get ready for a day in the field. And I have a bunch of men like in my bathroom at 6 a.m. Like it was the real deal, rain or shine. And then they all like, you know, we go through, I don't know, 8 dozen eggs a week. So we're like popping eggs and like bacon, and it's just crazy. Making coffee. There's mud everywhere. Family is huge for us. So super happy. We have a 5,000 square foot facility now in the West Bank of the Flats in Cleveland. And we have ping pong table and bathrooms and workout. We have a gym and a grill and our truck space and office. It's just amazing.
Oh, you guys, this is pretty spectacular. So, starting it and choosing that as the particular area, like we're going to, like you said, you wanted to find something to give back. Like, how do we do something? And so this is the route you guys chose. Is it difficult? Is there a lot of hurdles to do what you're doing and attract the employees you do? Like, what does that even look like? Because, you know, to most people in this industry, right? Like they would probably avoid hiring somebody like that, but you guys have completely inverted it. The results, in my opinion, speak for themselves. I mean, look at what your customers say. But what is it difficult? What are the challenges like?
Well, so hiring these guys that's coming out, a lot of it depends on how they've been doing their time, because unfortunately, some guys, you do have the horror stories. Some guys get institutionalized, and some guys become repeat offenders because they got this pattern in their hearts and minds that they didn't allow to be removed when they was in there. So, and then you got some guys that really don't waste any time. And so it really starts in there. And when we interview these guys, they're interviewing us because we're very upfront about our culture. we're very upfront about the fact that we're going to do life together. We're going to do it intentionally, and we're going to do this trade, which isn't hard, by the way, unless you're getting into some sophisticated jobs. That we can keep our integrity with our customer. It's a lot of financial opportunity in the business, and just trying to excite these guys because we try to pay well and treat them with respect and just get them grounded in a trade so that they can just see how value added it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Every job interview starts with Teddy Roosevelt's Man in the Arena. And so we have them read. Yeah. So that's how they start every interview. They come in and I'm like, hey, welcome to Hope Seals. Read this. And so that like gets a grid for me, and I can tell like where they're at. And if they read that and they're like, yeah, okay, cool story, bro. Or if their eyes light up and they're like, I want to be in the fight. And so, I mean, the thing about the Man in the Arena is, there's like three positions in that speech. You've got victor, you've got loser, and then you've got, spectator. And so we're okay with winner or loser. Like, it's all right. You just can't come in here and be a spectator. Like we do, there's a sign on our door, no spectators allowed. And we feel that way about our house. We feel that way about, relationships in our lives. Like we need people that are in the fight with us and understand the call of being a man or a woman of God, of being a leader in society and community. We want these men to be baseball coaches and basketball coaches, to be leaders in their churches, to financially contribute to their families. So we remind them often that as business owners, you're often the guy on the ground that's being kicked in the ribs, that's like, choking for your last breath, and you're just hoping to get a comeback punch so that you can, make it to the next round. Like you're not always going to be victorious, but you're in the ring. So fight for that position.
Man, Val, I've got the poster in my office. Man, my wife bought it for me. Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. So probably when you were telling the story at the show, the Payback show, like this is just how my brain works. Immediately, 173 questions pop in my brain. And interestingly, I think the one that stood out the most in my brain of like what I really wanted to know, and I'm not asking because of like I think I kind of already understand just because of the Google reviews alone, basically. But your customers, like I said, like I went on my phone, I'm looking at the website, it's right there. Like this is what we do. This is who we hire. And so to me, in my brain, that's immediately going to separate people into basically one or two camps, maybe a third if they're like really not sure. But so, I imagine some customers are like, that's weird. Like we don't want to hire these people. Like what has been, what, yeah, okay, Richard's nodding. So what does that look like? Like what is, maybe on both sides of the spectrum, like what do your customers think about this?
Well, our experience with some customers is like they'll just condemn the guys in advance, and it's just unfortunate because that affects the guy's ego and building up their confidence to feel like they're being restored back to society. Like it truly takes all of us to reverse a lot of the thinking and to believe in second chances. And that's why we interview our customers as well.
Yeah.
We are upfront with everything that we do because first and foremost, we desire for these guys and myself included to take it a day at a time and to not take things for granted and to really stay focused. So
yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've had the customers that are like, I have teenage daughters, like you're not bringing this crew. And then we've had customers that are like, love it. They're like, how can I support you? Like invite me to the fundraiser. I want to post all about you on every neighborhood page. So, I mean, I think the advice that we give to a lot of entrepreneurs and really to the guys is you have to guard your heart in this business, in any business. And so we've learned to kind of put those protections and measures in. And we tell the guys all the time, like, this is your story and you kind of have to mind your business and not worry about what people think about your story and what people have to say, because the critics will take you down if you let them. And even the people that are cheering you on, like if you live by their praise, that'll mess you up too. So We just follow and kind of stay in our lane.
Yeah, I totally get it. So what you said makes sense. And like, I'm thinking you might just assume that if you do come from the penitentiary system, you would just automatically know that, like, yeah, some people aren't going to accept who I am. And now by extension, accept the company. But these are like, dude, these are humans. Do some of the guys struggle with that? Like, is it like a really difficult thing? Yeah.
Huge. And I think they struggle with the fact that we advertise it and they can feel like we're making them like a poster. And so I think, like, you know, I don't know if you know this, but, you know, I think you did say it, you know, Richard came from that system. And so, I mean, he did juvie life and then came home and did adult time. And so having him as the model for the guys, and then having other men that have been through it and use their story as a testimony of what it looks like on the other side. You know, we're not defined by any of this, and we don't use it as a crutch, but I think it's so important if we want systemic change in society where we don't let a felony identify the next 30 years of someone's life. You know, just on a practical level, we couldn't get life insurance for the first 10 years of our marriage because of Richard's felony. His risk of death was so much higher. I mean, that's a systemic problem that we have as a society. So I think if we want to break those things as a whole, then we have to do better with making it known and making it just part of everyday life.
Mm-hmm. I get it. Well, take this is just one man's opinion, but like nothing that you've said in listening to you in Chattanooga, nothing on the website tells me that you're leveraging the story to try and make money. Not a thing. And we haven't even talked about the nonprofit yet. My goodness. So we'll talk about that in a second here too. Nothing of what you guys say comes off that way. And it's so true. Like, look at Richard, what you're doing. Like, that's incredible. Do you ever have some of the employees like move on from the company and eventually do other things? What does that look like?
Yeah, the success stories are our favorite. I mean, we've had people that fell off from even like high level careers. And, you know, one of our favorite stories is a guy that, you know, was a real estate agent and he got into some trouble and needed a break. And he worked with us for a season until he could get into the plumbers union. And so, like, we can be a stepping stone. We've had multiple experiences like that where we're just a stepping stone or a break. You know, maybe they just need some time to work some things out. I always joke that we kind of recycle men because a lot of times, you know, they'll come for a season, it doesn't work out. Maybe we have to let them go. We won't see them for a year or two, but then somehow they end up back with us. And we welcome them with open arms. We love the guys.
Man, this is such a cool thing you guys are doing. So it's been 5 years now. You're coming into the 5th season. And if anyone out there is wondering like what it would look like, go look at their Google reviews for one thing. But how many estimates did you say you did last year, Val? It was something outrageous.
700 myself.
700 estimates. So obviously no shortage of demand for what this company's trying to do. I have no doubt a lot of those people align themselves with what you guys are trying to accomplish. And they're like, well, that's cool. Now, I need my parking lot sealed, but I also support that. So that's kind of cool. I guess I'll get into the nonprofit then, because you touched on it really briefly at Pavex. When was the nonprofit founded? Tell us about it.
Yeah, so the nonprofit was founded in June of 2024. So we're really green. You know, we actually had a business consultant come into the shop last year, and we just wanted some advice about operations. A lot of our revenue goes back into the guys just as a byproduct of what we do. We've been able to buy cars. I think we've done 3 cars now, giveaways that have just been from revenue, being able to get guys driving again. We've paid reinstatement fees. We've been able to help with education and just different things, but it's all out of revenue. We don't get any grants or government money. And the business
sorry, hold on. I got you've given away cars to your employees?
Yeah. I will say, you know, in fairness, like, God has blessed us with the craziest favor. Like, it's not, I don't even feel like it's us giving it away half the time, because the jobs we get, like the stuff that we're able to compete in our market, like Hope Seals gets jobs that make no sense. Like, we compete. So I don't know, when we do things like that, we're always like, this isn't even ours in the first place. But yes, we've been able to do it, and it's been amazing.
What's an example of a job that you feel like that we shouldn't even have this?
Wait, is it just the size of
I'll
it?
tell you. Yeah. So was it last year or the year before? The year before, we got this data center job, and like the 3 biggest asphalt companies in Cleveland had bid it. And the guy called us and he was like, "Hey, I saw you online. Like, would you want to bid this?" And it was like, how many square feet was it? It was like 500,000. Yeah. It was insane. And I looked at the like bid and I was like, I don't even feel qualified to like write a number for this. And I had to like call the supplier or whatever. So we did. We put together a bid package and I was like, Lord, like whatever you have for us, it's fine. Do you know that we like won that package and it was the entirety of our first year sales in one job? And we outbid the other guys and we were close. Like we were within like 5 points of our, like, it's not like we lost a bunch of money. It was just amazing and it was a miracle in and of itself, but stuff like that happens to us all the time. And like God doesn't play favorites. But I'm telling you, like, we've just been so fortunate and so blessed, and we just know it. And so, like, I don't know. So the cars, like, those were the Lord's, and, like, we were blessed with jobs like that allowed us to do it. But we have done it, and it's been amazing. And we've been able to we took 19 guys to Splash Lagoon and their families for, like, an overnight trip. And, like, those guys, many of them had never been out of, the city or been able to do anything. So it's just been the blessing of a lifetime. So back to the business consultant.
We've been able to give away some driveways.
Oh yeah. We've done free driveways for like single moms. And we did like a retiree where like he tried to pay us for a driveway. It was like a $1,900 repair. He tried to pay us with like 3 credit cards and we just broke. We were like, I can't take this guy's 3 credit cards and like put, 4% on it for like, fees. And we prayed about it and we're like, we're going to zero out his invoice. So I actually had our guys take the 0 invoice to this guy. So now here's the picture. I've got like 5 felons, all black, and this old white Italian guy that we zeroed out his invoice. And the felons all come to him and they're like, hey, we zeroed out your invoice. Like, God bless you. Can we pray for you? And this old man just starts weeping, like falls down. We all start sobbing. We're in like a giant group hug, like sobbing on the street over a driveway. And like, I don't mean that in any way other than to say like, this opportunity allows us to break cultural barriers. It allows us to break generational barriers. We've gotten to pray with police officers. Like, it's no longer this issue of like, you're here, I'm there. It's just cohesiveness. It's amazing.
And I think that's what's getting realized with all of us is that life is filled with opportunities. Like anytime you encounter somebody, you really have the opportunity to speak positivity into their life, to show kindness. And I know it sounds cliche, but, tomorrow isn't promised.
Yeah.
And so that's why we live with a message of hope and just, really gaining the profit where it matters. And that's getting a sound mind and, getting right with the Lord and, in relationship. And just we try to keep poor at the forefront of people's mind, what matters most.
Yeah. Yeah. Hope resonates with everybody. So this business consultant last year pulls me and Richard to the side. He's amazing, amazing mentor. And he goes, hey, I have to tell you something really serious about your business. And so we're like on pins and needles, like what, he knows our financials, whatever. And goes, I know you guys. Yeah. He's like, we're an S Corp. So like we're an LLC, we're a multi-member LLC. We file as an S Corp. Or a WBE, whatever. I'm thinking everything's fine. And he goes, you are not a for-profit business. And I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah. He's like, you are a nonprofit and you're paying, like, he's like, you function as a nonprofit and your business documentation is a or for-profit, whatever. So it was just one of those moments where he gave us language and we didn't know that what we were doing. I mean, we just didn't know. We just are living. And I mean, obviously we collect a paycheck and like Hope Seals pays our bills and we're super grateful. But it's how we've always functioned. We don't take anything at the end of the year. There's nothing left. I mean, we give it all away. And we're glad to do so. So it's changed how we've thought about things, and we didn't want to make a total structure change. So we started Hope Stays to try to tap into some resourcing. We've never gotten a dollar from anyone, and Hope Stays is where we try to funnel in some resourcing, and it really opened the door. So we started a board. We have a nonprofit board, and actually our first board member, we're going to give a shout out to our brother that's finishing a long-term prison sentence now. He's been in prison 19 years, and he wrote the bylaws for our nonprofit completely, and is amazing. And, you know, we've got another board member that has just amazing experience in the nonprofit space. And so they've been working together with us to get it off the ground. And the Cuyahoga Land Bank, which is local to us, they're ready to donate a house to us, like for free, $0, ready to donate. And all we have to do is rehab it. And that house would provide low-income housing opportunity for the guys on our team. The two key issues that we have is housing and transportation. There's food scarcity too, but, you know, these guys come home from prison. They have, you know, family relationship, you know, difficulties. They have a ton of child support typically, and Ohio can take up to 50% of their wages in child support. And then they struggle to find affordable housing and transportation. If they go get a car loan, you're looking at 25% interest. So, you know, it's critical that we help them find affordable transport and that we get them out of the project. So this house would be a game changer, and we're on a mission to raise, you know, we're hoping to raise about $80,000. That would allow us to rehab the house comfortably and have it set up for them so we can have a Hope House for them, you know, during their season when they're with us.
Unbelievable. So somebody wants to get involved. Is it hopestays.org? Is that the best place to go?
Yeah, absolutely. And we're getting the website rebuilt right now, and hopeseals.com is our main lander right now, and there will be a page on there as well.
Okay. In the short term, though, people could go to hopestays.org?
Yeah.
Okay. Because we're gonna plug this for you. It's not like I'm not like gonna tell you we have like 16 million followers of this podcast. Not yet. Joe Rogan, watch out, we're coming for you. But no, like people need to hear about this. This is, you know, even just business owners who are just like struggling to hire people. Like, it's funny. I co-spoke at Pavex with someone way smarter than me. I totally rode his coattails. He's a mentor of mine named Neil Glatt, and in his presentation, which I had seen many times before, which is why I was like, oh man, I'll sit up there and look pretty for you. I've already seen the presentation. It's about hiring and recruiting, and that's one of the key things in the middle of his presentation is like, you should look for employment opportunities to people that you wouldn't be at the top of the average person's list. So if you're always looking for, you know, someone young and super vibrant, no history whatsoever, so yes, that could be a good employee. But so can disabled people, so can veterans, so can people from the penitentiary system. And like so many business owners, there's some listening to this, I guarantee you, who are like, I could never hire someone like that. And like, well, look what happens when you flip it around. My goodness. What do your kids think about all this? Because your kids are, if I remember on the form, they were 11 and 9, right? So they're young, they're impressionable. What do they think of all this?
Well, one thing that's beautiful about the kids' perspective about it is that it's normal. So they don't like categorize people, you know, and that's what we're appreciative about is like, hey, we're all human, and by default, we all make mistakes. And none of us get it right. But one thing they get to see us model, not perfectly all the time, is just, you know, committing and recommitting to, you know, what we feel is best. And that's what we try to provoke and encourage with the guys is like, hey, we're not looking for perfection, but when you got a community you can struggle with, then that's when, you know, you see it through. Like the old saying is true. What don't kill you make you stronger. So it's just really, in essence, about just doing life with each other and just taking one step at a time.
Super cool. I was just at an event before Pavex. My mentor was on stage, and he said, he was talking about the vision of a company, and he said, the bigger the vision and the clearer it is, the smaller the problems become. And I'm thinking about that in relation to what isn't it so true, right? Like if you have an organization of people and they're all going in the same direction and they see the vision and they're like, we want to be a part of that. It makes all the problems a lot smaller, and they become less significant. I imagine, like any business, there's challenges, right? You've probably had some, so like, I don't know, you probably don't want to go into great detail, but is there like unique challenges in doing what you guys do? Does it have some of those days where staying in the arena is a little bit harder?
Yeah, I can start out with it, but yeah, so it's just when the guys don't see the vision.
Yeah.
When they lack the vision, it's what's most frustrating because, you kind of ruining the credibility of the people that's genuinely changing on the inside. And like, because we dealing with the system, and we see how the parole board is not giving these guys parole because they hear the horror stories and stuff like that. So we feel like, in essence, the market didn't accept us. The community didn't accept us. They want to see us thrive. They want to see us become bigger so we could do greater things. But we have to, model, the reason why we exist as a company. And so that's the hardest part, because the money we know is going to come. It's inevitable. We sow and we know we're going to reap. And, the money's going to circulate. It's going to come around. But it's the guys that, some of the guys is great, but then you got the other guys that, just want to get by, just want to go through the motions and,
Yeah, no, I agree. I think, hiding the struggle is the worst thing you can do. You got to get in community and show transparency with what you're going through. And that's the hardest for us is, we try to show that as leaders. When we're in our prayer circles in the morning, it's not uncommon for us to be in tears. We're getting ready to start our work day. We are exhausted. I might have, had a fit with my kids the whole way to work that morning, or we're struggling with a customer complaint or whatever, a supplier issue. And we try to show the guys that it's real. It's real out here. It's real in prison. A lot of guys come home from prison and they think that because they're free physically, that they're free in other areas, but it doesn't work like that. It's not all for one. Like, your freedom has to be fought for on every ground, every front. And we've met people, we take our kids into the prison, and we've met men in prison that are freer than I've ever been. I mean, those guys are locked up for the rest of their lives, but I'll tell you what, their freedom is something to covet. Like, it's just, they've got it on the inside. They know who they are. They know who God is. They know where they're going, and they're satisfied, like, in the depths of their soul. And like, that's the goal for all of us. And that translates into work and play. Like, if you've got deep satisfaction and rest in God, then it translates to everything you do.
Man, I wouldn't make it at your guys' company. Like, I as soon as I see another guy cry, that's when I lose it. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, I'm good until I see other dudes crying, and then I'm like, oh man, alive. Tell me about this upcoming year, 2025. What does it look like in the business? Like, big projects coming up? Are we expanding into other things? Are we doing more of the same and just continuing to change lives? Are we just going to continue changing lives? Is that what we're doing? Tell me about this year.
We have a word. It's a word. Our kids are saying it every day. We have a word. The word for 2025 is thrive. It's cheesy. We love it. We love cheese in the Smith house. We're very excited. We are expanding into other markets. We are starting striping. So we'd love to talk with you more offline. We're going to stripe it like it's hot this year. So we're very excited to enter a new market and keep loving the old ones and grow with the guys.
Awesome. Okay, well, we're gonna plug this little chat we just did everywhere we can. So hopeseals.com, right? Hopeseals.com. hopeseals.org. Pretty soon you go to hopeseals.com and you'll see, or not hopeseals.org, sorry, hopestays.org. I'll get it. Eventually you'll go to the website and you'll see them both there, which is great. The fundraising, they can do that on the website. If somebody is listening to this and they want to contribute. Awesome. Okay. Very good. I don't get the impression you two, just in a little chat over Zoom here, I don't get the impression you guys are going to hold back, but like, please, no, whatever you do not hold back in sharing what you guys are doing. Like, It's funny. We just had a local B2B expo thing here in my city in Prince George, and I got to speak at it. Actually, it was kind of cool. And the only reason they got me to speak is because I'm a millennial and I post on social media. And so one of the organizers, she's like, "Look, there's a lot of smart people in this room, and nobody knows who they exist in the community because they don't post anything. So go up there and tell them to post." So I was like, okay. And that's one of the things I said in my speaking session was like I didn't even have social media before I started business. I didn't, and my inclination when I started business was like, well, I don't want to brag, I don't want to do anything like that. But like, I don't think you guys need my validation, but I want you to know that like, don't hold anything back, please, because like what you do matters so stinking much. It's unbelievable. And I would hate anyone in your market to be deprived of the opportunity to learn more about what you guys are doing. So I don't think you needed my permission, but please keep going. Keep going.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for having us.
Oh, pleasure's
Yeah,
all
we
mine.
can't wait to connect more with you.
Absolutely. Well, we'll chat more about striping another time too. I'm always down to talk about striping. But in the meantime, for those of you listening, please support these fine people. Incredible organization. Guys, go have an incredible year. And I know we'll stay in touch.
Thank you.
Thanks, Cam.
Man, it's wintertime right now, which for us at our company here in beautiful Prince George, BC, Canada, it's great because we can go plow snow and make money. But for a lot of you guys listening, you have striping businesses. You don't want to get into snow removal. I totally get it. It's not for everyone. How do you make money in the winter? That is the question. Our friends at Mighty Line can help you. So we are a proud believer, and they sponsor this show for a reason. The product is awesome. So if you don't know what Mighty Line is, go to the website. In fact, I'm going to give you a link where they will actually give you a free sample kit. MightyLineTape.com/stripe it. MightyLineTape.com/stripe it. They're going to send you a free sample kit of some of their most commonly used products. This product can be used indoors during the wintertime in industrial facilities, warehouses. They have custom work, so much stuff that your customers will love, and it will help keep their facilities safe too. So if you don't want to go plow snow, but you'd still like to make money in the winter, MightyLineTape.com/stripe it. That will let them know that you were listening, and they will send you a free sample kit of their products.